Hello, my name is Manley Hadley. Welcome to Triumph of the Now TV. This is a brief episode where we look at ideas of creativity related to parts of education, specifically academia, workshops, and criticism. Speaking here to Honor Gavin and Frears. You also write critical theory.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that as a creative activity?
Yeah, I mean, I try to think of it like that. I kind of want criticism to also be a kind of creative exercise. I mean, I think when you're kind of reading and thinking about a text, then it is kind of creative in kind of a kind of basic way. So I think kind of criticism should also be a space that kind of, through an engagement or an encounter with another text, you create something. Mm-hmm. And I'm, increasingly interested in ways that kind of close reading or kind of kind of close textual analysis can also be a way of producing a creative text. And that kind of boundary between kind of research. So, research is always kind of present to me when I'm doing kind of creative work or critical work, and kind of I think it's really interesting the ways in which they kind of sort of end up kind of happening and kind of being formed, and there's so many kind of prescribed kind of ways of doing criticism, perhaps, especially in an era of kind of pressure on the kind of humanities in various ways, in terms of what kind of publishing you kind of have to do to get certain positions and that kind of thing. But I think there's also increasing kind of avenues and forums for critical work that is creative as well.
You run lots of workshops. Do you see education as a creative act?
Yeah, I think I really enjoy the workshops that I do. Sort of the most amazing workshop that I did was when I had a residency at Knoll House for the National Trust in Kent. I did workshops with very small children, like 3 and 4 year olds that couldn't write yet, really. And so they were dictating stuff to me and we were writing it, and I was sort of doing the line breaks in different colours so that they sort of understood what was a poem. And then they were saying the weirdest shit, but like really, really good, like it was inspired. And there was like a 3-year-old called CJ, and I was like, okay, CJ, when we write poetry, sometimes we talk about our feelings, so how do you feel? And he was like really thinking about it. He was like, I feel furry. I was like, yes, me too. It is a creative process, I would say. It's a different feeling to when you're just sort of sitting and exploring something, and if it's not really small kids or like university students, I wouldn't want to do it full time. I mean, I did a workshop in a school recently, like an all-girls school, and they had a talk on FGM and then a poetry workshop, which is like a really weird way around to do it, because they were all just like, oh my god, FGM, which is, I mean, it's amazing that they were being told about it. And so the idea was to work through that and to think about our place as women and young women in society, and how we're sort of treated and how it might feel to not have control over your body. And I think that they were very open, they were amazing, and they're like the age that you're not supposed to be open, like 15. So I think in the right context, you can be creative anytime. I think you start to develop, I mean, there are quite a lot of cliches, so you start to know what's in writing. And so with children, I think very small children, they know less of like literature or like cliches, so they'll say things like black is a clumsy colour, and you're like, whoa,
that's a great sentence.
Yeah. It's like a 4-year-old and you're just like, shit. But then the 15-year-old will say like, oh, cotton wool clouds or whatever, and you're like, okay, like, and it still will be before like a shit hot line where it's just like, oh fuck. But they feel like they need to include certain descriptions, and I think maybe that's from school or maybe that's just from reading, I don't know.